Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that's still teaching this truth. And much peace, love, and salutation to the elect of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash, that's pushing this word with all truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazamah from the Great Millstone Dallas camp, and I'm coming back today with another lesson. And Lord willing, you Akim and you Akwat that are listening and believe will find this lesson edifying. And what I want to do is do a response video to the video that you see here on the screen. This is the elder Haratazah out there in Vegas. As you see his page, GMS Vegas Sit Downs 144K. All right, subscribe and be edified as the elder always does, edifying lessons. And I was listening to this video last night, and he was actually going in on a video that you see here on the screen, African Diaspora News. I think it's like African Diaspora News Channel, if I'm not mistaken. But as you see on the screen, it says African Hebrew Israelites threaten deportation to make room for Ukrainians. And, the elder was going in on the history about how we pretty much got deported in the ancient world whenever we were deported out of our land during the time of the northern captivity, when Shalmaneser V came through and deported the northern tribes out of the land of Israel, moved them to Nineveh, and put pretty much transports, in our land, like, as you call in the history, the Ethiopian Jews, you see. And when you read in John the 4th chapter, when Yahweh Shah was talking to the woman at the well, which was a heathen, she was a descendant from those transports that were put and placed in our land, And when you even go into the history, this is what the Lord said that he would do, and that strangers would devour our land in front of our faces, for lack of better words. Now, this is also, too, in regardings to our people that are in the land of Damona, Israel, because you have a large population of Jake that stay in Damona, Israel, and they're being pretty much kicked out, and they've been there for years. This question is posed for Vocab Malone and for all these different people that don't believe that we are the biblical Israelites. Well, where's the uproar and where's the cry for these Jakes that are being removed out of the land, if that's the case? For these individuals to be placed into the land. These individuals that are so-called from Ukraine and things of that nature, and these Ukrainian people that need to, quote unquote, find refuge. You see? You see the hypocrisy? Now, I was able to find something here on the news, or this is yahoonews.com. It says, after decades of struggle in Israel, dozens of African Hebrew Israelites faced deportation. You see, and like the elder mentioned in this video, they're not Africans. Okay, well, Africa goes back to the name of a general by the name of Leo Scipios Africanus, which conquered the land of Ham, or Ham, is what you call the land of Africa today. It was originally called the land of Ham, or Ham. Okay, so they're not African. They're Israelites, or they're Jakes that live within Israel, because we were scattered. Okay, we were scattered, and we are amongst all these different nations. You see, but they'll use African Hebrew Israelite, because we did stay within. There's a large majority of us that did stay in West Africa. But it says Damona, Israel. It says for 2 years, Tovit, Israel, and dozens of other residents of the village of peace have lived in fear. Damona, a city on the edge of the nation of Israel's Negev desert, has been her home for 24 years. It says her 8 children were born here and no other country. Now she and 130 other undocumented members of the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem face deportation. See? And what do you think is going on with this deportation? Where do you think they're going to be sending them? Who's going to be replacing them? You see, it's going to be the heathen. But that goes back to, because at the end of the day, I just want to put this out there, and the elder made this point too. At the end of the day, the land of Israel is going to be completely leveled at the end of the day. Okay, the land of Israel is going to be completely destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. All right, we're not, even us, you got Jake trying to go back to the land and we need to go back to Israel now. No, because at the end of the day, the Lord is going to completely burn up the land of Israel. All kinds of folly and all kinds of immorality takes place over there. You got the heathen in our land. Okay, so the Lord is going to completely burn up the land of Israel. And then once the rightful heirs of the land are there, which are us, all right, that's when the land of Israel is going to flourish. That's when the land of Israel is going to be the land, again, of milk and honey. And it's going to be the land, the most beautiful land. Because right now, it's not the most beautiful land on the planet Earth. Let's just be honest. Okay, this is Isaiah 1:7. It says, your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. It says, your land, strangers devour it in your presence. Now let's get this word. Let's see what this word strangers is here. This word strangers is zawar, which goes into heathen. Okay, strangers. And this is actually talking about heathen, aliens. And who are the strangers that devour it in our presence? Or you have the 1948ers there. OK, you have the so-called Palestinians that are over there. You have Ishmael that's over there. You see, when you look at the land of Israel on a map right now, it looks like Swiss cheese due to all the different pretty much all the different plots of land that's allotted to these particular different groups of people, man. So it says strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. You see that? Strangers are devouring our land in our presence. And this is a curse. This is what the Lord said that he would do due to our disobedience and rebellion. You see? Now, once again, you are going to have Israelites that are going to be in the land of Israel today. You're going to have Israelites, like actual descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that are going to look like so-called, that are going to look like the 1948ers. You see? And the elect of the nation of Israel that are scattered in these different lands. And that's that could be scattered in the land of Israel today. The Lord is going to do what he's going to do to make sure that they're protected. You see? But the Lord is going to get these different heathens up out of there, man. And when you read in Joel, the 3rd chapter, he's going to do it by way of war. Okay? It says, receiving the order to leave 2 years ago was a moment of disbelief for Israel. 53. It says, I feel like the government has been merciless to me and my children, she said. And why do you think that they've been merciless? Because ultimately they don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't look at you as one of their own. You see, they don't look at you as one of their own. And at any given moment, as you see, at any given moment, they can tell you to up and go. OK, but where's the outcry from Vocab Malone and all these other different quote unquote apologists that won't report on this? You see, the people that are actually in the land, where's the outcry of the deportation going on here? OK, it says the Hebrew Israelites, as the spiritual community's members, are commonly known. And you can't be a spiritual member of the spirit. You can't be a spiritual Israelite. OK, the Hebrew Israelites are descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob according to the flesh. OK, it says, as the spiritual community's members are commonly known, first made their way to Israel from the United States in the 1960s. While members do not consider themselves Jayish, they claim an ancestral connection to Israel. OK, and when you see the Jayish word there, that's mainly the people that claim themselves to be of that descent, which is really not a descent. It really goes back to Jew or Judah. How can you be Jayish? How can you be a type of the tribe of Judah? That doesn't make sense. You see? But these Jakes that live here in Damona, Israel, are Israelites. See, they are the true Israelites. Okay. And a lot of them went over there by way of if I'm not mistaken, by a man by the name of Ben Ami. Okay. And I'm not going to speak too much on that because, I'm not really too fond on that history, but you did have a lot of Jakes that did go to the land of Israel, all right, back in the 60s, and pretty much they got left there. They pretty much got left there. But that's why the Lord said that he would take us back to our land. You see, we wasn't supposed to get passports and go back to the land of Israel. That's not what the scripture says. All right, the scripture says that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, that he would take us into our land. Okay, let's actually get that. Let's get Jeremiah the 16th chapter. Hold on. Jeremiah 16. Yep. Verse 14, it says, "Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt." All right, going back to our deliverance out of the land of Egypt, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai delivered us, all right, by way of great signs and great wonders, all right, by way of terrors. And the Lord made a spectacular, deliverance for us. He split the Red Sea, which we really crossed the Gulf of Suez, And what else did the Lord do? He brought plagues upon Egypt. And the Lord is going to bring plagues upon Egypt as in the days before, as it says in 2 Ezra 15. It says, but, and that Egypt that I just mentioned in 2 Ezra 15 is talking about America. It says, but Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, which is talking about North America, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. You see that? And that lines up with Matthew 24 and 31. Okay, with the great shout of a trumpet, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai himself is going to deliver and gather together his elect from the four corners of the earth. And where are we going to be gathered? All right, the elect are going to be gathered in the chariots, what the world calls UFOs. You see? Because as America is going to be completely pelted by thermonuclear missiles, the land of Israel is going to be completely pelted by thermonuclear missiles at the same time. It says, and I will bring them again, you see that? I will bring them again into their land that I've gave unto their fathers. You see, so the Lord is going to be the one that's going to gather us together and take us back into our land. Okay? Not by the hands of a man in the flesh. All right? No, it's not what the Lord said. You see that? Hey, the scripture says, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm. You see? So you got to stick to the prophecies, and that was the issue. You see, but now, you got these Jakes that was over here for years thinking that they was going to be, good in the land. They're in the homeland of Israel. And now look, you see, now they're being deported out. You see? It says I'm reading down here, and it says the Hebrew Israelites believe they are descendants of the biblical tribes of Israel who, after the Roman conquest in 70 AD, fled down the Nile and west into Africa, into the African interior, and were ultimately taken as slaves to North America centuries later. And that is correct. You see, we fled down from Roman persecution. We fled down into Egypt, which there was already a large population of Jake that was there in Alexandria, Egypt. And then we dispersed amongst North, Central, and West Africa. We had Jake that fled up north, more so towards Asia Minor, to Turkey, Germany, France, England. Yeah, we were dispersed at that point. You see? Okay, let's look down here. It says, Ben Ami, see, that's the spirit. Ben Ami Ben Israel, the group's Chicago-born spiritual leader, said he had a vision in 1966 from the angel Gabriel that black descendants of the Israelites should return to the promised land and establish the kingdom of the Most High, according to the community's website. And that wasn't the angel Gabriel that did. That was a demon that was on Ben Ami to say that. You see, because we just read the prophecy that the Lord will return us back into our land, and the kingdom of Israel would be established whenever Yahweh Shai reigns. Remember, that's what the apostles asked That's what the apostles asked the Lord before he descended. Okay. Or before he ascended, excuse me. This is Acts chapter 1, verse 6. It says, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou, see, we're not going to establish the kingdom of Israel. You see, the kingdom of the house of David is being built as in the days of old, but the kingdom will be established when what? Yahweh Shai sits upon the throne of David. So he said, they said, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom of Israel? You see that? And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father had put in his own power. You see that? So the one that's going to be established in the kingdom of Israel ultimately is going to be Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, not us as people. Not when I say us as people, we're not going to establish the kingdom of Israel in a land that our enemy still occupies. That's not going to be the case. Okay, the scriptures does say that the saints shall take the kingdom, but that's going to be ultimately when Yahweh Shai returns. Okay, so this was a false prophet. Okay, now remember the apostle Paul said, he said, if an angel from heaven come unto you and teaching you some other gospel, let him be anathema marathana, or let him be accursed. After a brief stint in Liberia, Ben Israel and several dozen families of followers arrived in Israel in 1968. It says Ben Israel died in 2014 at age 75 and is revered as a messianic figure. Ahmadiel Ben Yehuda, a community elder and spokesperson. And that's all that I'm gonna read here. But you see, after he died, they just stayed there. And now they're being, you had to enlist into their army. I want to say if you're if you're 18 or if you're 21 or older, you have to enlist into the military. But now look, now you being deported out of there. What's up with that? You see? Lamentation chapter 5. Let's read verse 1 and verse Lamentation 5. Is it Lament? Oh, I'm in Jeremiah. Salaki, my bad. Lamentation 5. Start of verse 1. It says, remember, O Yahweh, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. You see, and what came upon us was the fact that we went into hardcore slavery. All right, we were put into slavery. Our enemies completely destroyed us. We were taken down, ultimately due to what? Transgression. You see, we were reproached. Our enemies look at us as niggas. They look at us as Mexicans. They look at us as Indians, Native Americans. And we're a complete reproach to the heathen round about. Like it says in Lamentations, the 2nd chapter, and they clapped their hands at the downfall of Israel, right? Our inheritance, which the inheritance really goes back to the land. Now, what comes with the land are particular rights, of course. What comes with the land are laws, statutes, and commandments that our people are to follow, which goes into our heritage, of course. But the inheritance begins with, what was allotted to us. You see, that word inheritance is nachala. In the Hebrew, it's nachala. All right, which says what? It says possession, property. You see, inheritance, heritage. You see that? And the root word is nachal, to get as a possession, acquire, inherit. And what was the possession that we were to get? All right, the land of Canaan, which became the land of Israel. Right? Our inheritance is turned to strangers. You see that? Our houses to aliens, foreigners. You see that? Because these jakes that are being deported, wherever they're going to be deported to, those areas that they lived in are going to be set up by these Ukrainian refugees. You see that? Ezekiel 30, it says, verse 10, it says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will also make the multitude of Egypt to cease by the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon. He and his people with him, the terrible of the nations, shall be brought to destroy the land. Because you had Jake that was also in Egypt as well at this time when Nebuchadnezzar was on the scene. Right? It says, and they shall draw their swords against Egypt and fill the land with the slain. And this is why the Lord said, trust ye not in the shadow of Egypt, because you had Jake trying to make a pact with Egypt at that time when Nebuchadnezzar was pretty much moved by the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua to bring judgment. You know, verse 12, it says, and I will make the rivers dry and sell the land into the hand of the wicked. Now, this did happen in the time of the ancient world during the time of Nebuchadnezzar, as we read above. But you can liken this also into time right now, because who owns and occupies our land right now? The wicked. And who are the wicked? The Edomites. In specific, all right, Amalek. And I will make the rivers dry and sell the land into the hand of the wicked. And I will make the land waste and all that is therein by the hand of strangers. I, Yahweh, have spoken it. You see that? Remember, when you read in Ezekiel, the 36th chapter, it tells you that what? That the strangers pretty much devour our land. Matter of fact, let me just get that real quick. Ezekiel 36, verse, I want to say it's verse 3, but let me just look at something real quick. Yeah, this is Ezekiel 36. Start at the top. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy has said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. You see, these different heathen, beginning with the Edomite, have always dreamt of having the land of Israel and having that possession. You see, because they're trying to establish their own pseudo blessing on the planet Earth, which they're not going to be able to do. You see, but they want to establish the land and become one as if they are the chosen, which they're not, because these elites know who they are. They know that they're the Edomites. It says, therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen. A possession, you see, a possession is a slave. And ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. See, like pretty much a reproach. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh to the mountains, and to the hills, and to the rivers, and to the valleys, and to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, right? And against all Idumea. You see that? Idumea is a Greek way of saying Edom, because Edomites are the ones that really are in possession of our land. Those bankers, I'll say it like that, they fame themselves to be the Jew-ishes, right? So it says, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. Okay, you see that? So they had it in their land. They had it in their mind to what? To possess our land. You see that? That's why that land, the land of Israel, is the most coveted area on the planet Earth. And that's why the Lord is going to gather all these different heathen nations over there to that region of the earth, which he's doing right now, and blow their asses all the shit, man. They're going to burn their ass up in World War III. You see that? So this ain't nothing new. Let's end it off with this one, Isaiah 63. It's Isaiah 63. And let's start at verse 17. It says, O Yahweh, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways, and hardened our heart from thy fear? And that lets you know that the creature was made subject to vanity. Okay. It says, return for thy servant's sake, the tribes of thine inheritance. Who's the tribes of the Lord's inheritance? The true Israelites. All right. From the tribe of Judah all the way down to the tribe of Issachar, man. All 12 tribes, beginning with the elect. All right. It says, the people of thy holiness have possessed it but a little while. Our adversaries have trodden down thy sanctuary. And there it is, man. Okay. But I just had a work call come in. So Lord will, this is an edifying lesson. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us his truth, and much peace, love, and salutation to the elect. Shalom.